Okay, so today I'm just going to explain one of the major difference between repairing your vehicle in a roadside and in a company. Sometimes people look at price and you're like, oh, the price of going to a company is expensive. I want to go to a roadside, they will do the same. The fact is that it's not the same thing because the model and approach to work is different. For example, when you come to high-tech autos, one of the ways we approach our problems is once we listen to a customer complain, like this vehicle has a complaint of high fuel consumption, and it's unusual for Toyota Corolla to have a fuel consumption fault. It can happen, and it happens based on one or two things. So you don't just guess and say, oh, the reason why this vehicle is consuming high fuel is because of bad fuel, catalyst, or whatsoever. So what's the first thing you do? The first thing you do is that you get your scan tool. You don't have to come closer. So you don't have to start disconnecting wires randomly. So you get your scan tool, you hook it up. Once you have it in the car, so you run your diagnosis. So one of the things we have here, we have mass airflow and we have thermostats. These two faults will give you the reason why the vehicle is consuming fuel. So you can pull up the code and let's go outside so I can show you.
But this, yes.
Okay, so if you look at this code, the one for the thermostat is a P0128. So when I put this in my service bulletin, we have this information, and one of the information is telling you that you get this code when the ECM estimates the engine coolant temperature based on the starting temperature, engine load, and engine speed. The ECM then compares the estimated temperature with the actual engine coolant temperature. When the estimated engine coolant temperature reaches 75 degrees, the ECM checks the actual engine coolant temperature. If the actual engine coolant temperature is less than 75, the ECM interprets this as a malfunction in the thermostat or the engine cooling system. So what this means is that when you get your car and your thermostat, like many Nigerian mechanics do, they take away the thermostat and tell you that, oh, when you remove the thermostat, the vehicle will not do overheating. That's absolutely rubbish. If the parameters of the engines are all okay, with your thermostat you won't experience overheating no matter the temperature, because it's an automated system. When the temperature reaches a certain level, the fan picks up, so it maintains a certain temperature. So what happens in this situation? What the service bulletin is saying is that when you get that error when you remove your when the coolant boils up, and the temperature of the coolant sensor, because there's a sensor that monitors the temperature of your coolant, which is like your water. In most cases people pour water, but there's what they call coolant, a liquid called coolant. So there's a sensor that monitors that. So the engine control management system, which is popularly known as the brain board, it compares the reading the coolant is bringing versus the thermostat. The thermostat also has a sensor which monitors how hot the coolant is. So when it compares these two values, if there is a variation, they have to give you the same value. So if there's a variation, it sets it as an error. So in a situation where the thermostat is already removed from the vehicle, it means that you will be getting zero value, meaning a different value from what the engine coolant sensor is monitoring. So what does the ECM do? The ECM needs this value to um, allow adequate fuel mixture, because if the vehicle is cold there's a certain level is going to allow the injector nozzles to spray fuel. If it is hot, there's a certain degree to allow it. So when it is removed, when the thermostat is removed, it will be working with estimated value. And the estimated value is just like you having NEPA lights to your house, no prepaid meter. So they give you estimated value. But if you have a prepaid meter, like you have your thermostat and other sensors intact, it will be properly metered and you have better fuel efficiency. So the idea of always removing thermostat from a vehicle is not a good practice, and I urge you all to patronize good repair centers like high-tech autos and reduce taking your expensive vehicles to quacks. So thank you.